Give it up for Ashley, Marquitta, and all the people that have put this together. Really. Say thank you. Thank you. Say thank you. Thank you. Say thank you. Thank you. It's something else to see the power of community, the power of people coming together, and also to follow in the steps of so many women of color, and just follow their lead and not try to step on any toes and mind the space. And it's a new thing for a lot of people, but I ask that everybody, follow the lead, mind the space, and check yourself at all times before you're helping and how you can support. I want to speak to the reason why we're here right now. None of y'all got to be here right now. There's no reason for any of us to be here right now in Hopkins. I don't have any personal ties to Hopkins. I don't imagine anybody has any personal ties to Hopkins. Well, there you go. I think what we all feel is that we have a personal tie to the institution that is law enforcement. We all have a personal tie to it, and it has a very real threat to us because it has a very real tie to white supremacy. And that is why we're here. And you don't have to be here. This is like a few people. There's not a lot of cameras out here. There's not a lot of people watching. There's not a lot of notoriety, and this isn't what this is about. And so really look around and look at the people that are around you. And we said this in the beginning. This is your family. This is your community. These are people that are going to have your back. These are people that are showing up consistently. And I say this all the time. This is not a moment. This is something that you should make your life. You should truly make this your life. And I want to start off by saying, just ask yourself, have you ever had a bad day? You ever had a bad day? I used to work with kids in a special ed classroom that had really bad days. And because they had a bad day, they expressed some anger. Y'all act out sometimes. I act out sometimes. And then a teacher would say, you know what? I'm going to write that down on a piece of paper. And I'm going to say that you are this. And then that kid gets redirected to another room. And then that kid gets redirected to another room. And another room. And that condemnation is something that follows every single young body of color up until the moment that they are executed at the hands of the police. I don't know what Travis Jordan was going through. I don't know what Marcus Golden was going through. I don't know what Brian Quinones was going through. But I can imagine that as a man of color, you can feel the pressure every day. You can feel the branding every day. You can feel the condemnation every day. You can feel the labels that they branded on you, that white people have looked at you when you walk into a store and they ask you if you're going to buy something here. You ask yourself, why is this the hotbed of so much unrest of white supremacy and racism? And it's because you don't talk about it here. And then you wonder why a young man of color at some point just snaps. It's because it's years. It's years of repressed trauma. It's years of being revoked. Your permission to feel, your permission to speak, your permission to express, and then at the end of the day, your permission to live. And this starts early. And we all need to investigate, where are we tacitly being complicit with this? Where are we passively voting for young bodies of color to be condemned because they had a bad day? Because I can tell you right now, if a white person has a bad day, they're not going to get killed. They're not going to get branded. They're not going to get sent down to some special education room or resource room where then they assign me to work with him. That's not going to happen. You're not going to call me as a black paraprofessional to work with a young white body that's lashing out. I have been assigned to one white body throughout my entire career, and that's 10 years, and the rest were all bodies of color. Why do you think that is? What kind of culture do you think we're creating in classrooms that lead to the end of life of adult men of color? You have to ask yourself the story that is happening from beginning to end, and then why WCCO and some other media outlets never tell the story correctly. They want to criminalize your behavior, and if they can't do that, they criminalize your language, and if they can't do that, they criminalize your body, and if they can't do that, they take your life. They feel, thank you. They feel that we are a threat to their system. They feel that our skin is a threat to their institution. They feel that we are a threat to their life. A police officer said he feared for his life when Isaac Aiden looked him in the eye. Do you think he would feel the same way if a white man looked at him like that? Because when a white man looks at me like that, I fear for my life. When a cop looks at me like that, I fear for my life. And if you're a cop listening to this right now, there are no such thing as good cops. There is such thing as good people, but not good cops. People can be bad or good. You can have a good day or a bad day. But a cop is a job. And that job is part of an institution. And that institution is part of white supremacy. So therefore, you can't be good in that institution. And if you're a cop and you're watching this, this isn't an indictment. Nobody's coming after you. And you're not going to be killed for this. But you need to ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I waking up every morning declaring war on people that have done nothing? Why am I waking up every morning putting on a gun and a badge? Why am I waking up and hiding behind a uniform? Why am I waking up and putting on a taser? Why am I waking up and suspecting every brown body here of doing some wrongdoing? Investigate your own complicity. Investigate it. And lastly, I want to wrap on this. We hear about de-escalating. And we were at an anti-rally last Saturday, and we were at another rally on Wednesday. The only time anything gets escalated is when the cops show up. Yes. That's right. We are not the escalation. We do not need to be de-escalated. And I'm going to say this to young people of color. You do not need to be de-escalated. Your rage is not disorderly. Your rage is not a problem. Your anger is absolutely perfectly justified. Your skin is beautiful. Your mind is smart. And you're not a criminal that they make you out to be. The escalation is in the people that show up with the tasers and guns ready for warfare. The people that show up with tear gas and sticks ready for warfare. This wasn't a problem until y'all got here. Yeah. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. So, at the end of this, we look at all these families that have been absolutely traumatized. And they come up here and they grieve every single rally. Every single rally. They come up here and they rip a little bit of a part of themselves out. They bleed for you. I fortunately haven't had to lose somebody to law enforcement. But we come out here because we don't want to. We come out here because we don't want to have somebody else stripped from us. We don't want our communities traumatized. We don't want our gene pool traumatized. We don't want another family traumatized. We want to keep our communities safe, and that starts with disbanding police, or at least having a conversation about putting your guns down and about decriminalizing the way you look at black bodies. So I want to say this at the end, and just as we wrap up. We start at the end of these stories. We start at where these people have been murdered, where these people have experienced a modern day lynching. I want you to look at the entire arc and go at the beginning. Go into those classrooms and look at your public schools. Look at the government that's trying to turn them around into charters. Look at the excuses that are being made. Look at the chips that are being shifted around for the CDD in Minneapolis. We're going to put money here and money there. We're going to put white students on the north side so people will pay attention. Look at the game they're playing. Look at the illusion that they're pulling right before your eyes. You have to be the one to say no. You got to be the one to show up to those schools and say no. Because the second they decriminalize kids that are that young or younger than that, this is where it ends. This is where it ends. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. Thank you for the time.